Oh, tell brothers and sisters, Black Power, as always, giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to the ancestors. Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul of the Street Law Soldiers. My sister, my in-laws, my father, and all of my subscribers, viewers, listeners, supporters, and those who are fighting for Black liberation. Today I want to talk to you about a situation that you may not be familiar with. The picture you see up on the screen, that's a picture of Sister Harriet Washington. She's the author of the best-selling book, Medical Apartheid. Let me see if I can just let you get a better glimpse of it. Medical Apartheid. And this is about some of the most horrific experiments that has been placed on Black people in history. The history of experimental medical genocide that has been predicated upon people of color in this country. And now, for those who don't know about the medical apartheid and medical genocide, the Tuskegee syphilis study, and I'll read it to you just in case you're unable to see it. It says that they lied to 600 poor Black men with syphilis. They studied the disease progression, not treatment, even though curable with penicillin. They promised them health care with drugs and just giving them aspirin. And the Public Health Service characterized Blacks as intellectually inferior, impetus, degenerate, and above all, at the mercy of frightening, powerful sexual drives. Which really describes some type of savage. Not the Black man and Black woman. And so what they did, one of the greatest horrific programs ever laid on our people. And this devil here, James Marion Sims, he experimented on Black children including puncturing their parietal bones and move them into new positions, experimenting on Black women, peri and postnatally making repeated incisions into the vaginal tissues without any anesthesia. This is how a savage, this is the work of a savage. This is the work of a fucking savage. To experiment on our ancestors and even currently today. What do you think a flu shot is? What do you think a flu shot is? It's nothing but a flu. You don't know what kind of flu it is. You don't know where it came from. All you know is these devils are telling you that they're giving you free flu shots. Even at a drugstore, they are that pressed to the point where you can go into a drugstore, for those who smoke, buy a pack of cigarettes and get a soda and get a flu shot, get some raw flu injected into you right inside the store. Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, which are the new drug strips. Let me repeat that. Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid. The pharmacist has become the new drug dealer because more people preferably way more crackers, are addicted to pills than anyone on the planet. And so, as a tool to prevent them from going to jail, from buying opiates or whatever, uppers and downers, opiates or cocaine off the corners in the black community, they've made it possible where they can go and get the same shit at CVS. Ritalin is a Schedule II narcotic in the same category as cocaine, crack cocaine. And then you got the Oxys and the Xanax and Calipress and all these other motherfucking dope, all this other dope that they prefer the cracker to come in CVS and get through their doctor. That way they don't have to go to jail for possession. And that's why the jails are filled up with black men and women, because of the fact that they are unable to even go into these CVSs unless you have top of the line insurance, or if you have this bootleg welfare insurance, then you are limited to buy certain drugs. And see, this is how they have this shit fixed. This is how they have this shit set up. So when a black man or woman needs medical help, and they'll tease black people with the cures on television. They have all these commercials with these new drugs that they have for certain ailments. You know, with 1 million goddamn side effects. But they are pills that can cure them, because anytime you can create a disease, you definitely can cure it, because you created it. That's just like putting air in the tire. If you can put air in the tire, you can take air out of the tire. But this medical apartheid, this medical genocide that has been thrust upon the black community for the purpose of annihilation. You see a dialysis center. I call it the nigger machine. It's a nigger machine, nigger house in every black community, next to a liquor store or pawn shop, and a so-called beauty outlet. And every, next to damn near every goddamn black hood, you got a nigger machine, the dialysis, because white supremacy can fuck your kidneys up, whether you know it or whether you want to believe it or not. You can get so stressed out and go through so much shit in terms of just surviving and dealing under the system and the rule and the lash of white supremacy. It can actually fuck you up. Like the term we always say when we're upset at somebody, yeah, you make me sick. Literally, white supremacy can make you sick physically. And we need to, start believing and understanding, what this motherfucking demon is trying to do. This was the Tuskegee experiment. Hundreds of our ancestors, hundreds of black men lined up and was injected with the rawest form of syphilis they could possibly make, to test this out, to see the damaging effects of it. And the thing about it, they never treated the people, the brothers that had this syphilis. They never treated them. They allowed them to die some of the most horrific, painful deaths. A lot of them, when they woke up, they had a half of a penis. their ear literally fell off. You know, they had the side of their nose was missing. You know, they had these gigantic lesions and bumps all over their body, all over their chest and their face and their tongue. And penicillin, an injection of penicillin was the cure, but they refused to give these brothers penicillin and let these brothers suffer and die some horrific deaths. Painful, horrific deaths. Screaming and hollering day and night. While these goddamn devils kept injecting them. Kept injecting these motherfuckers. And what they should have done was gang bang these motherfucking crackers and injected them with this shit. Instead of staying there, these were poor sharecroppers and farmers that were told they would get a couple of dollars if they underwent this experiment, in which they knew, these crackers knew they would never live long enough to receive compensation for the pain and suffering that they endured. And then you got a nerve to say this motherfucking cracker's not the devil. Look at this brother's chest. You know, and they were still injecting syphilis into this man. You know, this brother's face was nearly gone. And so, these things still exist today. Well, they send you something in the mail. Now, I was talking with one of the brothers. I don't know if it was William Ivory or You Are Wanted, Brother Jerome. I'm not sure. But I was telling them that I had received a letter in the mail stating that if I wanted to make a few dollars to undergo some type of experiment, drug experiment. And it's the same thing that's going on today. Now they have a place in Washington, D.C. called the Psychiatric Institute of Washington, and the National Institute of Health in Bethesda, Maryland, where they perform these experiments on black men. They still do this today. They perform these experiments and they allow them to stay in these glass filled, these walls made out of glass, looks like cages, fiberglass cages, like a zoo. And they put drugs in these brothers to see how they're going to react. And they keep them there up to 30 days. But most of them never return home. You know, they become so comatose and put in these artificial comas, and then they're transferred to the CDC headquarters or NIH, where they conduct experiments on them, de-organ these people, remove the skeletal frames out of our brothers for purposes of taking the melanin out of our brothers, taking their kidneys, taking their liver, taking their hearts, taking their brains, taking their bone marrow for themselves. Organ harvesting is the #1 hustle on the planet right now, where you can get $50,000 to $100,000 for a set of kidneys or a liver. And these crackers prefer melanated livers, kidneys, melanated hearts, and melanated brain tissues, because they are not superior to the black man. And if we are so inferior, why are you going out of your way to annihilate us off the planet? If we're so inferior, we shouldn't bother you. We shouldn't even bother you. But you know who's the inferior motherfucking race on the planet. Not the black, not the brown, not the yellow, not the red, but the white. But see, you got the red, you got the yellow, and you got the brown thinking that you are superior. But you know that you're not. Because you wouldn't do the things that you're doing to us today. That would never cross your mind to do the things that you're doing to us today. The elderly. And I'm a spokesperson for the elderly. The little children. That you see the commercials. That these little white children are in these, these hospitals that were created by Danny Thomas, a so-called Jew, for cancer research. And see, they will pimp their own babies to get money. And we buy into this shit. We buy into this. Just like we have, a lot of us are buying into this synagogue situation. Where you have blacks saying that, some niggas are saying that blacks and Jews are getting along. No, that's not the case. We always want to assist somebody else when the chickens come home to roost for them. But at the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck about us. And for those who don't know, or were too young, let me break this down to you. During the time that Dr. King and Malcolm and all the other strong warriors, civil rights leaders, were out here marching, being murdered, lynching, fighting the Klan, among other things, which the cracker was still doing what he does today. Bombing churches, lynching brothers and sisters, mainly the brothers. The same exact thing, with all acquittals. The so-called white Jews marched with Dr. King, but they used blacks as cannon fodder. And when the smoke cleared, the so-called white Jew got what he wanted and left the black man hanging. And still to this day it's the same thing. Once again, they want to link arms with us because white supremacy is after their asses. Now they want to, link up and try to play like they're with us. That they understand, what the struggle is. We've marched with Dr. King. We are friends with the Minister Louis Farrakhan. We love the black man, the black woman. We have the same struggles. So we need to hold hands and fight the oppression. The fuck out of here with that shit. Then when you motherfuckers, well, if that's the case, then goddamn it, redistribute the motherfucking wealth. Stop sitting on mounds and mountains of goddamn money and gold that you stole and robbed and took from our brothers and sisters over in the continent. Oppenheimers, De Beers, Jacob the jeweler, no, or, you know, and you're still doing it. You know, our brothers and sisters don't know when they rocking all this motherfucking jewelry, you know, 5 or 6 little boys lost their arms because they were caught or accused of putting some dust in their motherfucking pocket after working in the gold mines day and night, day and night, day and night. So don't tell me, you know, that you understand no motherfucking struggle. Because you don't. None of the so-called white Jews have been victims of police terrorism. As a matter of fact, a lot of you are cops that participated in the execution and slaughter of our brothers. So don't come and talk that bullshit to me. You want to lock arms? Before you lock arms, go back in the black communities and redistribute the wealth, the stolen motherfucking property that left us in these goddamn slums. That leave our brothers and sisters begging for goddamn change, doing anything, turning to drugs and alcohol, losing government jobs, going to fucking prison, having all these diseases, dealing with hurricanes, dealing with police terrorism. So, you know, you can't buy me with that. You can't run that shit past me. You know, and it's time for all of us to wake up and stop being so sensitive to the enemy's situation and insensitive to your own. Wake up, brothers and sisters. The times are going to get worse. And for those who think that voting is going to change some shit, it never has, it never will. It never has and it never will. I'll explain how this shit goes. Before man is elected, before a president is elected, they already select him years before. They go to these right-wing think tanks, the Carlyle Group, all these right-wing think tanks, and they create a person to run the country. Your vote, when you drop that shit in the ballot, it's just to see, they're just testing to see who the people like. That's it. See, and most of these presidents now, they're doing double terms. They're allowing them to do double terms. And what are your chances? What do you think the chances of Trump being reelected are? Very high. Crackers are doing whatever they want to do and they're getting away with it because there's no motherfucking repercussion. Black people are not responding whatsoever. We keep waiting on some mysterious deity to come out of the sky and make things right, and it's not going to happen. Any of your religious texts that you read, it tells you that God, Allah, Buddha, Confucius, whatever, Yahweh, or whatever you want to call your deity or God, those scriptures tell you that you've been given the tools and the green light to fight back, because God is with you and won't allow you to lose the fight, but you got to fight. We cannot wait on any deity to save us. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But we've been given the strength by the Almighty, by the Creator, to tear some shit up, to win this war. Whether we're outnumbered, outgunned, it doesn't matter. Look what Hannibal did. He defeated these crackers. He was on elephants. 22 years old, a general. And that's where all militaries get their discipline and they get their structures from, the way Hannibal assembled his army. Toussaint Louverture, Boukman, Dada, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. They were outnumbered by the French, Spanish, and the British armies. But Haiti had their independence and they had their liberation. So, let's wake up, brothers and sisters. You have a committee that decides who's going to run the country. It's just that simple. For those who didn't know, all Republicans were all black. The Republican Party was an all-black party. And what happened, the KKK, and when Andrew Johnson and his devils, the Klan, when they began to murder and destroy and disassemble the Republican Party and replace the Republican Party with all devils, that's when our ancestors went on the side of the Democrats. Let me remind you that the Democrats have put more people in prison in the history of this country. They don't change policy. They do not change policy. All they are doing is we allow them to rock us to fucking sleep. Where were the Democrats at? Where Gardner, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland? Where were the Democrats then? The NAACP, who still call themselves colored people to this day. That ought to tell you a lot about them. You've never seen these motherfuckers fight anything. And the brothers, our ancestors that fought, we helped the cracker eliminate them. We have a history of doing that. And see the Democrats like Jesse Jackson and Sharpton. Why do you think it's never been no hits on them? Because they're not in our corner. Their job is to trick you into believing that they are. So, brothers and sisters, as always, I hope you got something out of what I'm trying to, the messages and the information that the Creator is using me to convey to you all. We have to stop. The only way we're going to be okay, we have to unite. We have to unite. We have to lock arms. Remove the self-hatred. Lock arms with your brother. Lock arms with your sisters. And once we do that, half of the battle is won. But you got to understand, not believe. You have to know that we can be liberated if we unite. Why do you think everybody wants to unite? Every time they unite with us, we get them whatever they want and they leave us hanging. Same way with the Mexicans, Latinos. Same way with them. They were so terrified when Trump was mentioning putting that wall up. They were under the black man and woman's nuts. Now they're back to disrespecting the black man and woman all over again. And what do you think the white so-called Jews are going to do? They're just using you once again as cannon fodder to block, to take the bullets for them. And you get nothing in the end. Once again, we're hanging. Catching the lash of the whip. As always, once again, at the end of the day. So brothers and sisters, once again, I hope that you got something out of what I've been dropping. You know, I'm doing my best to try to provide you with information and knowledge and lift your energy levels up so you can be in love with the highest level, your highest God frequency that's in you. And then you'll be able to see everybody that looks like you. You'll be able to see the God that's in them. And then that's how we're going to be able to stand up all the way up and be able to move. Because we're going to be out in the streets in a couple of weeks stepping to motherfuckers. No ifs, ands, or buts. And so, as always, brothers and sisters, I appreciate you all. Those who have any questions, comments, concerns, please give me a call. I'm always available for you all. Those who want to send love offerings and donations to help with food, clothing, help with paperwork, help with providing materials to keep these videos going, please contact me and we can discuss that. Hotep, Black Power. If I didn't mention your name or anything like that, I haven't forgot you. But please, if you feel like building, give me a call. And just think about the things our brothers and sisters, our ancestors went through. Hotep, brothers and sisters, Black Power.